Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, we've got some interesting setups today. I think I'm not quite sure how I want to handle this. So let's start out by just getting some links in here. How about that? Okay. So there's this one. Here's this one. Okay, everything's going. All right, so let's so let's start with Bitcoin. So on Friday, Bitcoin, they finally went for the 6,000. You can see the stop run here, and then some continuation, and then some continuation again. Quite spectacular, in fact. And now you can see they are actually kind of set up like they are going to go down again. And I think they will. Maybe they'll come short of a new low, but this does not look to me like panic, everybody's selling the low sort of action. When you look at it, it actually appears to be the retail guys that are selling the lows. So just keep that in mind in Bitcoin. My indicator still says that we're overbought. Let's just run that really quick so we can see what the number is after all that. So we should be below 100 by now. Should definitely get below 100. Let's see. It's not giving me a new number yet. So Bitcoin.info hasn't updated their chart since the 19th. That's interesting. Since last Tuesday? What? Okay, well that's a little concerning. I have to look into that. Bitcoin.info has not updated their charts since last Tuesday. Why? What's with that? Well, let's just calculate it, the number based off of the last. No. $6,000 is still exactly 100 unless the underlying transaction value increased substantially. Well, that's kind of weird. Okay. Well, that's that. So now to Treasuries. So we've been around this balance area for quite some time. There was some rejection lower here, and we're headed higher. But now we're like at the top of this range. And so I think the most likely thing is that we go back to balance, but I don't know. We're headed higher. I can't really say. Then we want to do one more thing. We're doing kind of some experimentation this week. Well, I mean, we've been doing experimentation for a while, but I'm going to do something here. I'm going to change this strategy right here And oops, cancel. I forget how we do it. Yeah, you do it down here. Okay, this one is quantity 1. Well, I guess it should be star, but this should be 2. This should be 2. This one's going to be 2, and this one's going to be 3. Okay. So now make sure that we're using that. Okay. So what I'm going to be trying to do is just take 2 off of some of these ranges. So I could maybe buy 30.5 or sell 31.5. But because I'm not sure yet about where we're going to go, because 24.5 would be the target here. Down here. I don't know if it's going to do that or not. I'm gonna watch the 5-year here. There was definitely some selling through here. Okay. Also, where is our spread? Spread is actually the highest that it's been in a while. I actually have to go way back to see the spread higher. So I think that we could move down. If it breaks out lower, I suppose it would maybe be okay to take it. Like right here, but it's a little questionable. Okay. Tick down, a couple hit it. It does look like they could break. Or rather that they are breaking. Only 14 traded into it. ZF didn't break a new low. Maybe he did. Okay. Yeah, well, it's been here for a long time. So I think I'm gonna buy this one. Well, it's a little suspicious now. No. Well, it's been down here for an awful long time, hasn't it? And this offer being weak and it not ticking up, yeah, and then only 700. I don't know. Okay. Mm. Well, so part of the thing here is I was saying, I need to try and take it every time that I see it, and I think that it could work. So I do see it, and I do think that you're going to get filled at 31.5 and maybe even 120. But, the context of this particular one makes me just a tad nervous. Even though it's clearly given it. Especially here with that buy volume in ZB. I guess that's only 200 orders. Maybe not a big deal. Maybe I shouldn't even be paying attention to that. Hmm. Well, it did it. Yeah. Well, it looked to me like that the 10-year ticked up only because the 30-year ticked up too. And they almost like had no choice. You notice that there wasn't even much of a change in delta. Ugh, I want to cancel this. I don't know if I... Talk about a slow fill. I guess that's good, right? Like if the bid looks weak, but then it's still super hard to get filled, maybe that's an indication that our fate here is correct. I don't know. I guess one of the thoughts in my mind, another one of the thoughts in my mind is that I do think that they might push back to 24.5, but if they push back to 24.5, probably the likelihood is that the equity market is recovering as well. And we got, a good hour before the equities market opens. And are they going to have a huge push in the pre-market trading? Yeah, probably not. So I think that it could probably range for a lot longer. Well, it only took 900 to lift it again. $322 that time in the 30-year though. Ticked up and you're not getting anything through. Okay. And it pulls again. I don't know. I mean, if I actually get filled on this one, I think that could be good, but are we actually going to get 31.5 and 120? That's the question. Bobby LLY, good morning. New name. It's pretty quiet today. There's not a lot of people in chat either. That always kind of tells you something. Like, look at how much they've had to pull and play around with this 30.5. They can't even get 33 orders to come in. Okay. So this is kind of the problem with fading the range, right? The probability that if you get filled, it's going to tick through it. Yep. Well, they're not hitting too aggressively on the breakout, so I think we might still have a chance, but we're just hands off and it does its thing, I guess. Was I filled by a large order? Let me see here. No, it was not actually. Unless I have the settings on here wrong. No, it should stay there. We haven't had any orders over 1,000 in ZN? Okay, well there's one. There was bot 1492. Didn't go, they offered again. Are they gonna buy it again? Yeah, I mean it could have been that in the book here. So there may have been somebody in an institution curious about the fact that they then swept 30. They then swept 30 and now nothing's happening. So I still kind of see like two scenarios in my head. One is that there is somebody that is trying to push us back to that balance area at 24.5. Or B, there's somebody that is spoofing us here. Okay, well that was a pretty okay tick up. Hmm. Yeah, well, this is now to the point where it did what I wanted it to do. To some extent, I think that I just need to keep my hands off of it because let's say that it fails and I just decided to get out break even here, then I wouldn't have the stat. Okay, well, it seems like somebody really wants to sell it there at 30.5. Is that normal? That doesn't seem normal to me. Does it seem normal to you guys? Breaks out of the range. It comes back into the range. And you go to the price that they were fighting at for such a long time, and there's quite a bit of volume trying to keep the downtrend. So they hit that a couple of times. I think that would be considered a lure, no? Yeah, I hear you. If I wasn't doing this two tick thing and I wasn't saying it, that I had said to myself, anytime that I see that situation, I want to take it. I don't think I would have taken it either, because I was really sitting there going like, this seems really sketch. But I feel like that in a lot of the situations where I feel like that are exactly the ones where I should have been taking it, you know? So that's where this experiment may end up being really valuable. Yeah, this is one that I really hate, when both of these prices, the 30 and the 30.5, are giving you small bids and small offers, and then there's not a lot of volume. Otherwise, that's super hard to read too. Yeah. Well, I think what is going to happen is, well, one of two things could happen. One is they could break down here, the 29.5. It might look really spectacular and like seem to me like that we're going to trend down, but then it'll come back up to like 31, and then it'll fail to continue, and then they'll really be able to sell it. So that's one scenario. I also think that there's a scenario where exactly what we think is going to happen. We're going to go up and trade 31.5 and 120. We'll see me get fills, and then there will be no, they'll like bounce off the VWAP, but there will be no like real conviction behind it, and then we go down. I really think though at this moment, they were really likely to see 24.5 today. So especially if we get to that 120, I want to flip. I want to flip at the 120, but I want to see the sellers get disappointed first. Took nearly a minute before any trades went. Oh, there you go. Took it. So now the interesting thing is we get to see what did it kill me at. Okay, so it actually I have to look at them. The way that this shows you how they're supposed to go, what happened isn't very good, is it? Converted. So I guess one of those actually ended up being -3 for it to do that, for it to be 78. Interesting too that there was like the way that they shredded those guys at 29.5. See, now normally this would have been where this would be where if I was trend trading, hopefully I was already short, and maybe I would have gone short in that zipper area at 31. If I had gotten short at 31, 4, potentially you want to get out there. Well, and so another thing is that I mean, the whole thing about they trade a price, they don't really go for it, and then you take it, but then you get filled and they go right through you, or it just kind of sits around and then goes down for no reason against you. Like, that's a perfect example of it right there. Perfect example of it. Yeah. So that one is like the context isn't one that you want to take a trade in, probably. Yeah. Now there's a lot of volume coming through here, and I don't really see a reason why. Kind of feel like we should be getting a pullback here. Even now the context is kind of bad. Big size quickly snaps lower. Now it just dies, and the inside market is really thick. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Was like, I don't think you want to fade this one. I think you're much better off waiting, seeing if it actually fades, and then fading that. I feel like this is a spot where somebody steps up and dumps 4,000 on it to push it lower, and then it comes back. Well, yeah. Well, yes and no. Like, it depends on why they did it, right? Because from my perspective, if I was a big institution and I was trying to push down to the balance area, or maybe even further than that, and I just dumped 4,000 contracts, I don't ever want it to go past that. You know what I mean? And I don't think that 5,000 contracts traded down here below that. So if this comes back up against it, whoever this guy was that took those 5,000 is maybe, well, it was 4,700. It didn't give me a block sell. Whoever that guy is going to be a little unhappy. So that's why I say if that was somebody that was trying to push us back to 24.5, then we shouldn't be able to get any further than, we shouldn't be able to trade any further than 30.5. And we'll get up there and he won't take it, or he won't puke rather. Okay, that's similar at 113, 140 in the 30, or sorry, the 5-year I think just happened. Oh, he's saying that it actually probably was enough at 29 and 28. Well, it's probably unlikely that all of it was him, but you're right, there was enough of volume. And certainly now that we're trading back and forth here at 29.5, probably there was enough for him to get out. But we still should watch it. This right here. Donald Trump tweeted against the Red Hen restaurant. Oh boy. The Red Hen restaurant should focus more on cleaning its filthy canopies, doors, and windows rather than refusing to serve a fine person like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I always had a rule: if a restaurant is dirty on the outside, it is dirty on the inside. Ooh. So he's not even complaining necessarily that they kicked him out. He's just saying that it looks like a crappy restaurant anyways. Okay, later, Tucker. Okay. Okay. That was actually a pretty good uptick. That 1,000 traded into 29.5 almost immediately. Possible to read though. I tweeted a bunch of stuff this morning. Will we get final GDP quarter over quarter on Thursday? Just realizing, that some of the stats are going to get messed up, so I'm just switch this over to use a different demo account. So we can track this particular experiment a little bit better. So I'm still thinking that I would prefer to sell it on this range, but I would prefer to sell it at 30. I don't know if they're going to give it to us. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I can see this move appears to be correlated somewhat with moves in the forex markets. I also see the E-mini kind of given a look like it maybe wants to go down. Hmm. So once again, it's sitting here, nothing's happening. Are they going to tick up? Nope. Well, I think my rule here is the balance area is 29.5. So I'm not going to sell it unless I get 30.5. Ha! Was not expecting that one. So that fill, it's almost impossible to determine how accurate that fill was because I clicked it when we were bid, but then it was slow enough it got put in the queue, and it says that I was 78 in queue, but who knows where I actually would have gotten placed when you figure in the latency, because like the milliseconds would have mattered, and I don't know if 260 trading there would have been enough to fill me. So that was pretty crazy, but the way that it went was exactly what I wanted. It gave me the prices that I wanted, and it did it on an impulsive move that like went impulsive and then it stopped dead in its tracks. So I really like this one. AIQ. Now notice ZB has barely moved. There's been a lot of buying through here, but they haven't ticked up very much. ZB aiming for 144.31. Yep. Anthony, are we going to 4K or less? Well, I certainly think we are, but I think it's going to probably going to trade back and forth around 6,000 for a while. I think you might get something where like maybe, oh, let's look at where it's been so far. It hasn't really done much. It did move a little bit lower. You might get a higher low today, and then they will trade back up above it, and maybe they could even trade up to 7,000, and then maybe they could sell it again, and it could go as low as 5,000. I think it could trade back and forth around the 6,000 for a long time. But ultimately, I don't think that the real support from the ecosystem comes in until 3,000, maybe 4,000. What the thing that is really suspicious is that the data source that I use, blockchain.info, has not printed stats for almost a week. It's a little suspicious. In order to support price here, there would have to be a lot of transaction volume going through. Look at all this buying in the 30-year, and it's barely gone up a tick. Mm. Yeah, I really, so my read just, I was reading Uzi's comment here saying this is a good spot for the 30-year to reverse here, but then it seems like they're not done down here. And yeah, that's the same trade that I'm trying to make. I was thinking that we were going to get some sort of a push up, and then I would fade that push up. And I think that they're going to come back to this area that's been like this super balance area at 24.5, because nothing has really changed from last week, and I just think you're going to see this. This is just range extension. This previous move is going to come back down to here. That's my read. It ticked up here, and this 30 is looking awfully tough, but no volume is going through. So if I'm right, we should just see this pull and go down. Yeah, okay, well, they traded through it, and there was actually fills. So that makes it a little harder to say. still think that I can get my fills down here, and I kind of have to hold it to see how good I am at figuring these spots out. I'm going to wait for equities to open and hopefully see if it confluences with anything being cautious. Yeah, so the one thing I see, the other thing I was seeing is that if we move down back into that balance area, I think the probability is that the E-mini is going back up and recovering at that point as well. Because I just don't see a reason. I mean, if the E-mini was going down here, you know, you need some pretty ugly stuff down here below 27.35, right? And is that really justified on a Monday? If for nothing else, if it gets down there, you shouldn't have any being filled under your limits. It will be a war zone if it goes down. Exactly. I mean, this is going to be, if this goes down here, there's going to be some drama. Drama is the word I've decided to use to describe this sort of a thing. There's definitely going to be some drama down here if they decide that they want to sell it today. This is 02 to 03 when we just sit like this. I don't like it. I think when they trade, they'll trade fairly quickly, just in my opinion. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is like the stop and go action, right? If we're in a really rangy market, getting your fill is really important. There's two things that I find are critical in this kind of a market. One, you really got to get your fills, and then when it goes, it's going to really go. And then the opportunity is gone. And it's not even like you can get the stop run and then you can just reverse it. It doesn't always work that way. Although on that last move down, the 28, you probably could have. I have to say, what you guys are seeing in ZB just looks really bearish to me. Like, yeah. I mean, I could be dead wrong for sure. Like, don't take this or trade off this or take this to be gospel. But it just seems to me that, like, okay, the 5-year and the 10-year went up quite a bit, but they're still looking like that could just be a pullback. And then you got the ZB here. There's been more buy volume on a relative basis through this move up in ZB than almost anything else through this morning. Granted, it's only about 1,000 contracts, but still, I mean, that's the biggest move we've had all day in ZB. And they can't get up above this price, and now we're seeing a ton of volume come through here at O2. And while it is 6 to 8, there is more sell volume. Now, the ZN on this signal thing right here did give me a long, but I've it tends to give a lot of false signals, so can't really say for sure. All in all, though, I think that for my larger context play, which is that they're going to move back to the balance out area at 24.5, I think this area makes sense to go short here on this range, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, well that was not a very good tick. Yep, they traded up through it. They're going to come up and stop us out and then reverse, aren't they? Okay, and absorption at 30.5 is almost exactly what I would not want to see here at this point. Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, but the problem in ZB is that you're still at the 5 tick pullback. So like in ZB, this could be exactly where it turns around. Or right exactly where it turns around and we get stopped out, yeah. So far this experiment's not going very well, is it, guys? Well, where did I take the first one? 30.5. Well, that's pretty the fact that we're above that is pretty positive, isn't it? Well, I'm not sure I want to trade into that iceberg there. Okay. Okay. Big divergence in products. Well, I don't know. It's not like huge. Yeah. I'm thinking. So the reason I took that short there is because I'm thinking that ZV shouldn't be able to get above 4. But it sure don't look good for me right now, does it? Did they pull at 5 in ZV? I never saw a really big order there at 5. Yeah. I don't know. Well, ZB did not get above the 04 and ZN ticked down a tick. Yeah, and back up. And the E-mini looks like it's moving up to me. Well, every trade that I took, I was trying to fade it. So lean on the support. It fails, you sell short, expecting continuation. It fails, you try and sell the prior support, expecting resistance. It may potentially fail. Well, yeah, I mean, so we're doing an experiment here, but I think that the answer is that in this kind of action, you just have no edge, right? Right? Desk. CR equals 9ZB. What does that mean? That like a resistance? Yeah. 909 was like the last, like, well, not the last, but it was a pivot that I see. Current range, I see. Well, ZB is sitting right on that 04. If they get above that 04, then that kind of changes my opinion, right? That's probably why ZN is like eyeing like the 120. Boom. Yep. Yep, there's your 5. Well, that doesn't work. Right? Well, it's not 100% the opposite of what I would normally do, right? Because normally I would have taken, I think I would have sold it off of the start. And then when it got above 29.5, I would have been like hands off. And then if I was doing my regular thing, I would maybe be looking to buy 0.5. So I don't know. The E-mini is going lower. So 27, 35, 25 is the level in the E-mini that they're looking at. So even if I took one, I really didn't think that they were going to start the equity session off selling. So I don't think that I would have caught this pullback, well, not pullback, but this trend up back to the 120. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to say that what I'm doing right now is like going to be effective. I'm just trying to test something, like something really specific. So today is maybe not the best example of it. Well, actually, no, it is the best example of it because I do think I was in the right spots. I was just on the wrong side. Yeah? Okay, well, now that we're above 120, we're seeing sellers come in again. And I'm seeing what appears to me to be a spreader. And there may have been a spreader, I'm not sure. Why would they be buying FYT here? I didn't see it in the knob. Here with this would be a great place to sell the knob. All the right keys just in the wrong order. Yeah, it could be. Well, I'm still okay. I'm still thinking down. Like I still want to sell it. How can we do this? What would be the places that we would see that we could rely on to buy or sell? I don't see any. So I can't take one here. Well, since I don't have a level to rely on, I think that the best thing to do here is to wait for some sort of more dramatic move and try and fade that. Well, they're definitely going to battle that out here at 120. Yep. Well, yes, broke its support. I mean, I would be buying O5 there, like I said. I think that would have prompted me to buy O5. We opened above Friday's RTH range, did we? Oh, we're talking about in the 10-year. Yes, we came down and tested and there was no interest in pushing it lower. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't completely agree with that. I don't know. Kind of looks like they might turn around to me. If I'm honest. There's this, so there's some locuses, locations at like 01. And but it wasn't selling at the bottom with no follow through. It was like there's a stop run. Obviously, they're gonna turn around there, right? And then there was the pullback. Okay, was it so much that the sellers didn't sell, or was it more that the buyers just really bought it up? Because when I look at this down here, this just looks to me like actually some sellers did sell a little bit, but obviously if people are freaking out here, that's going to overwhelm it. So I would still say what's the driver here was, or what was the thing that like started it? Was it a lack of sellers, or was it just a lot of buyers coming in and overwhelming everything else? And I would say it's the latter. Now, why is that important? Well, why did they come in? Because the E-mini is going down. How much further? So when that reason goes away, If the E-mini is no longer in panic mode, then this is going to come back. And if it stays like this all day, they could extend, and this could be a trend day. If for whatever reason that they're selling in the E-mini is really a big enough deal. Although I don't see anything like, I don't see anything new. Trump reportedly plans to curb Chinese investments in U.S. tech. Perhaps that's the reason why they're doing it. That's what CNBC thinks. Yeah, that's their thing. Did not know that Chinese tech investments were that important. Well, it's hard to say on this one. I mean, you could trend. It just depends on how far away from value we are. And I can't really judge that. I mean, we're in a longer term support area for May in the E-mini now. We are getting a lot of up volume in through here and a lot of liquidity coming in. I don't want to say a lot of, maybe I shouldn't say a lot of liquidity, more liquidity than we had before, right? I guess the one thing was down here was that there wasn't, it was just acting like it was ranging. Obviously, when the buying came through, that was going to overwhelm it. So here, like this 3,000, for instance. How does that become the point of control? Oh wow, they spent a lot of the session there at that 015. Yeah, this was a tough call here in this zipper, whether it will come out up or down. I'm kind of leaning towards down, but I really don't know. All right, that one I have to take. Nope, I would. If I wasn't just doing this experiment, I would have just jumped out right there. This is not gonna work. That right there, I should be buying this. Hmm. While the E-mini is doing some, is getting a little dramatic now and zigzagging back and forth, so the E-mini may actually be done. Well, what initially freaked me out is actually looking more like what I wanted to see, a lot of liquidity coming in and absorbing. I mean, there is a lot of liquidity up at 05. The way that they're gearing up, it's going to stop right in the wrong spot. Yeah. No, I'm interested to see how much that one lost to. Oh, that one, they both went -3. In that order you see right here, there's some spots right there. They went through it almost like it wasn't even there in the E-mini. So I think they could go for another leg. Yep. Yeah, I'll play that one. Not enough. Yeah, I don't like that. I wanted there to be like 3,000 there at 04 and there wasn't, so I'm kind of questioning if they're actually going to go up and break a new high or not. I have to say this one, in terms of a potential level break trade, that it was a false signal. Now maybe they tick up and then they do it, but I don't. It's not doing it yet. Nope. Well, when it comes, it's kind of actually more like you put the order in on the expectation that you get the signal, and then if you don't get it, you take it off. In fact, I actually I guess I could just put an order in there and take it off. But the signal was we were coming up there. I was looking for potential level breaks, so I would want to see an iceberg here at 04. Yeah, I should have put that up there with so that when they ticked up, I would have taken it off. But I wanted to see an iceberg at 04. And then when they traded down, it wasn't. There was only like it only took like 1,000 to push it down. So that was not the signal that I wanted. So you bail. See, now we're in all of the everybody wants to play this area. So in terms of trying to only take 2 ticks out, it's like a crapshoot probably. New follow through from sellers aware. Uh, I still don't see it like that. Like the area, I'll show you guys. The area that you're talking about isn't where you would see follow through, right? Here is, okay, we sold it. There was a stop run there. You can see the big long thing through there. Okay, that was the stop run. Okay, so at that point, you know that there's probably going to be a pullback there, right? Pretty good chance. When we said there, yeah, there's probably going to be a pullback, and I wanted to sell it. I think I sold it somewhere around here, right? And that's when I said, well, I still think they're going to push down to the 04 half, so I want to sell it right here. And then at that point, so here it was. Here was the buying. Here was the buying, and then it came back down to here, and I said, okay, this is maybe where we sold it. But at that point, it was still in range mode, and all the buyers came in. So I don't think you can say that the sellers didn't follow through. I think that you could say that the buyers, that at this point, buyers entered the market. Did I get stopped out? Yes. And the only reason that I say that is because, in my opinion, they're really likely to break a new high here. Like I said, when we were down there, I probably would have been trying to buy 0.5, just based on the fact that we were in ranging action and buyers came in out of nowhere, and I expect that that buying will continue to draw in new buyers until the E-mini decides to stop. Oh, look at that. See, now, like, conversely, could we say that up there at the high, that buyers failed to follow through? No, I think that they tried and they failed. I think that they tried to push through there and they failed. Now, at this point, here at 02, they could come in and they could take it up again, right? Potentially. But I think this time that we're probably going to get a lower high. Yeah. What, the buyers? I don't know. I mean, they traded 3,000 into 04. There was a buying spike right there, right? But they couldn't overcome the liquidity. Like these two spots are completely different, right? This spot down here, the sellers won and took their profits. And then when it came to the pullback and it came for the opportunity for them to get on again and sell, then they didn't come on. Right. So I guess it is, what I'm saying again is, here you can't see that that's not, the seller's not following through. They won. They won there. Here's where the sellers didn't follow through again, right? Now this time, the buyers followed through but failed, is how I read that. Now, the tough thing on this one is, especially since they're coming back, since they touched the VWAP there, that they could try it again. I don't know. Yeah, they tried Okay, Keith. So, did you buy it down at 27.5? Did you? You bought it at 31. So, if you bought it at 31, then aren't we kind of saying, isn't that kind of in agreement with what I'm saying? At 31, let's just show you guys here on the Vista chart. 31. Okay, 31 is this. Did you actually buy it in the zipper? Yeah, right there. After I saw no follow through from sellers. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, right here, I think that the point that you knew that you could have bought it was right here when they did this, and then it came back. I think that that was some indication. And what time was that? Come back. 31. These aren't even the same thing. They almost. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was right here. Yeah, it was right here. So that was almost right at 7:30. Okay. You know, that one's kind of hard because, I mean, I think that this spike right here was kind of like an indication that maybe the sellers weren't going to pick it up there for sure. Yeah, I think that we should have held. I don't know about what it was in ZN. You say 29.5. I mean, that was way down there. Yeah, but for me, it was more the one that we broke 04. Right. when 6,500 traded into 31. Where did so I don't see that. I didn't see a 6,500 trade into that, so I guess I missed that particular iceberg. But I don't know. I still think that at this point, I mean, when you look at the selling, just look at this point right here, for instance, okay? Like, is this dramatic hard selling or anything? Not really. It's just ranging action that appeared like it was going to go back to the VWAP, right? Stop run. Okay, so we're going to turn around here. Okay, so now what we're looking for is, well, I mean, maybe you're long down here, but hopefully you're looking for an indication that they're going to stop, right? Well, down there was ranging action. Before the E-mini started, it was ranging action for sure, right? Anyways, I mean, this was pretty flat. Is this really all that different from what was happening before this? Not really. It really wasn't until this thing that you really knew anything was up. Oh, he was talking 31. He's talking about, it wasn't like an iceberg, it was more like over the longer term period. Yeah. Well, you can see, yeah. I'm trying to show you right here. Right. Can I? Oh, you're not gonna see my thing, but you can see this little spike right there. That was it for sure. Right? There's the sellers came in. That's where I took it because I saw the buying come up and I said, okay, this is where it should turn around. And then the sellers took it and then nothing happened. And then the E-mini started pushing us up. It's not like, oh man. So I should fade this one now. Hold on. I don't know. I still say though, my explanation is that buyers came in. They did kind of wait for the right spot though, right? Because the other key was, I really think it was more the ZB was kind of a better. I didn't take it, and that would have given it to me. I should just leave it in there. When ZB broke 04. Yeah, when ZB broke 04, because this was like, okay, this is where I said, hey, this is maybe where we can sell it, because it's not breaking 04. And then what happened? They stopped him out. They actually did sell it down a tick too at that point, didn't they? I thought there for a bit like we looked good, but I don't know. But my other read is still like this one. Like, how would I normally play it? I think I would sell it here. See it come down, see the stop run and take a profit off at the stop run. Sit out, maybe take one here. maybe I still would have taken that one. And then when it get up to here, then I would say, okay, the situation has changed. Buyers have come in because of the change in fundamentals, namely Chinese investment can't come into the US anymore, and the E-mini doesn't like it. So they're probably going to try and buy it until they find balance. So now what? Now what are we seeing? Well, they bought it up until they found balance, and now they're just kind of having drama. So now I think we would come up, since we made a slightly lower high. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the Chinese. Well, it seems to me like this is a little bit too dramatic for the news that's in there, but I think they're just looking for an excuse to sell it for whatever reason. Anyways, now this to me is like a lower high, and in ZB it did come off more than 5 ticks, so I think that the trend up is probably done. The only thing that's holding me back is that I haven't seen in the E-mini something like like the reversal, like bubbles and stuff. You usually see bubbles at those pivots, right? I mean, not always, but often. Now, on the flip side here, this is exactly the perfect example of why I don't, why I normally trade the way that I do. Because here, look at this, okay? This one was at 648, okay? So we were below the VWAP, I said buy, they went down, okay? So then I said, it's coming up and I'm trying to fade, I'm trying to pick the top here, and I failed like 3 times. And then I saw one that was a potential level break that didn't actually happen, and I could have scratched that one. But I was just not, I was being all screwy. And then I did have one that was selling, and that one would have worked. But I missed it because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. So what do I see? Continuation everywhere. And me saying, well, I'm going to try and fade the ranges. I guess a little bit of a misread about the trend right there. This one, I thought it was going to go down, but I thought they were going to come up here first. So that was a mistake. Yeah. I thought this right, you see that right there? I don't even know if that was really so much a big players so much as it was like all the guys that were long from here bailed there. That's definitely an end of the trend up, in my opinion. But I could only take it from here to here. But yeah, I did see that. And what I would say is that if I had, so let's go back, okay? I already kind of said this, but if I was trading like normal, what would I try to do? This sell right here, it's below the VWAP, so it's okay. And I thought it was going to go lower, so I could have taken that one, and then that was a stop run. So normally, unless I see something that's like some like really key level, or it just seems like we're not done unless I got some really strong indication. When I see the stop run, I want to take it off. So I would have taken it off there. And then here, I probably would have tried shorting it again. I think that here I would have tried shorting it and bailed at -1. It's probably what would have happened there when they, or maybe -2. And then when it got back to 05, after it broke out from right here, like that little gap right there, I would have tried buying that. And then up here, I would have been long still, hoping for them to trade through it. And then when they didn't set up the level break, I would have gotten out. And maybe I would have gotten out here, but there's a pretty good chance, or at least just from past experience, I know that I may have actually just held it and bailed at the 05. And then here, this one's above the VWAP, so maybe I don't take that one, but you know, I've been taking some counter trend trades, but that one tick lower, I probably could have sold that one. That was the one that I should have sold, and I was talking and I wasn't paying attention. So I sold that one. And that one is because one tick lower high, cumulative delta lower, knob spread coming down. Knob spread coming down. Yeah, that would have been where I sold it if I was going to take a reversal. So now if we had done this on a different day, like this day, right? Oh yeah, what happened here? I remember saying, I sold it here, I would have gotten the 2. Maybe I would have sold it here again and gotten the 2. And then maybe a continuation there, I don't know. And then this I thought was a little shifty. This one I would have bought somewhere in here. I don't know if I ever would have gotten filled on that one. Maybe about it here would have gotten filled. These I don't know about. I can't, it's hard to say, especially since it happened after my time period, but you would think that I would have yeah, I don't know. You would think that I would want to have sold it there, but I don't think I would have done that on that one. Now on the split side of this, we were saying if we were going to do this range thing, and I'm picking the right directions and stuff. This first one I should have sold still. What? You know, it's not going to get back up there. So I just don't even care now. It's 8:30, so I'm done. Actually, let's just cancel it because it's not. I mean, if it got back up there at 035 and I got filled, then sure, but it was pretty unlikely. This first one I should have sold for sure. Yeah. Now this one, now the thing that I think the one that I didn't see that maybe I could have taken though was, you know, well, it's only 4 ticks away. Yeah, but like, the reason why I say that is because 0.3 would be 1 tick below the previous pivot high. So if the short is still good, then the chances of you actually getting filled there at 0.3 are pretty low. You I just don't think that it'd get filled, but we'll see. Anyways, but this one, when we had the stop run, should have tried beating it. Why not? 2. That would have been fine. I still kind of feel like through this area where the cumulative delta was flat, you know, I think that maybe I could have tried to short there, but when the E-mini was coming out and it wasn't moving anywhere, probably should be taking it off there at that point, right? Because you never know when the E-mini correlation is going to come in. This one I could have tried buying, but I was saying to myself, no, I'm trying to pick the tops. Trying to fade it. No, it's just... I think I got a little bit too focused on trying to find the fades instead of saying, well, there was a 2 tick in there, but it was long. Like that one. Like I could have taken that one and I didn't. Did I take a short? Where is my thing? Oh, did I close it? Oh, no, it's over here. Okay, where did I take one? I sold 020. Oh, I was way too early on that one. See this one right here, 020. That one, so here's another problem. As I said, okay, I feel like I've picked that price, and now I'm just gonna hold it, right? And my conclusion is that at the time period that I take those, you don't really know that. Because in almost all of those trades, I was kind of like not liking it by the time I got to the end of it. Is that not true? Like this one, I was like, well, you're gonna stop me out of it. I maybe could have scratched out of that one. This one, I didn't even really want to take. The only one that I really thought was this one, and even that one, there was a point at which I was like, I should bail at -1. I didn't want to do that. I guess another thought is, what if I had done the impulsive thing, right? Like this one right here, sold it. Maybe would have come back on me too. And then it would have gone. Okay, so that one, it would have been bad. This one, well, I think I would have still done this. I don't know, this one I just really thought that we were gonna have gonna go down there. So maybe I would have bailed, but if I had seen a buy anywhere through here, probably most likely here, probably would have bought here. And then maybe I don't take it off when I get taken out here. Or maybe I would have seen this and taken it off. And then this one, nah, I think I would have sold it. If I had done anything here, I would have sold it. So maybe I not get the right price and maybe I get 025 or 02. Maybe could have gotten 2 ticks. So if I had been doing my usual thing and I had done it very poorly, I still would have come out a few ticks ahead. But not nearly enough for the amount of trend that we got. So there's that. And then clearly on this one, I couldn't know that it was going to go up until here. So really the most that we could have gotten off of this one was 31 to 4. So it still could have gotten 10 ticks on it. I don't know if I would have gotten that one or held it that long. I guess the bigger point, though, is that my usual way of looking at things is right. It's just not efficient enough. Right? Because there was a lot of trend there, and I would have maybe come out of the day +2. Now there was there not? There was. So now here's the other question: was if you took it long at 31, where did you take it off at? Because one of the things that you could have said is there was a stop run here, so I faded it. Well, there was a stop run at 02. Really, there was this right here. You could have faded it, but I guess if it was like that, it should come back immediately, right? It shouldn't range in the 2-tick range forever. Or maybe you could take it off at that point and go long. Oh, you only took 3 ticks off of it? Was that just an automatic target, or was it just like it seemed like it was done there? Yeah, well, it didn't really. You had gotten it there at that point. We really didn't. It wasn't until we got in this tick and you would have already been out. No, I really thought it was going to go here and then slow down trend. Right there was when that went away. Well, the E-mini has recovered a little bit. You're finally actually getting a bubble there. So now I really think that the E-mini might be done. Yeah. Was it the RTH high? I guess it was. You know, okay. I don't know, man. I kind of at this point. This is just, I guess it's just the difference of it. But if I had been long 31 and it got above the VWAP And we're like sitting right at like what, 120? No, that would have been no, that would have only been two. Yeah. Two. Three, I guess. 120 half. Yeah, okay, so here you're at 120.00 half. And now look at where that is in comparison to the last cluster of volume. And you don't want to keep that? Man. I just the fact that we're above this whole thing and we're at the top of this whole thing would make me think that they're gonna end that easily. Would make me think that they're gonna push higher. And then especially when they ticked up to '05, if I wasn't already in, I would get in again. I say that, but like I wasn't like trading all like that for sure. But if I was doing my normal thing, that's what I would hope I would do. Yeah, but that's not reality. It was. Hmm. I guess the let me put it this way. Was there some indication that the sell side liquidity was going to overcome the sellers there? Because my take is that the trend is going to tend to continue until the liquidity overwhelms them. And especially after all that. I don't know. Yeah, that's okay. I guess the other thing is still like, so I was saying when it first came up here, sorry, where was it? It was like, oh, 5. It was like when it first got to this one and it came back. Yeah, and when you look at the delta, it's not like super strong. So on that one, I think that is a potential profit taking zone. I just think you had a good chance of going along there. Or I mean, going a little bit higher. And that move down isn't too panicking. But then after this one right here, it'd be long, I think. That's one where I feel like you're gonna get like an impulsive move up and you can go with it. That's the one where I feel like just clicking in is a good thing. Obviously I do it too often, but that's the one where I think it's okay. Well, hold up. So all we're trying to say is if you have a particular strategy and you're trading that particular strategy, we're trying to do our best to approximate how well that strategy would have worked in that particular time. Right? So maybe you wouldn't have taken it or not. But I think we know, just based off of our long experience from me, that if I was not long in there, that when it popped up to that 01, there was a really good chance that I would have bought it. You know, that's exactly the spot that I keep buying and I get screwed over. It's exactly the spot. That's the one time, and this is the one where I've been saying, look, it works. Well, there's your example right there. When it's a good idea. And you know what? It only happens when it's trending. If it wasn't trending today, if today had been like what I expected a Monday to be, which would have been either a move back to 045 or just rotation, you know, would have been a bad idea. Here, I don't know. One of the things I think is interesting is that we came down that far and the VWAP didn't come down very much. The VWAP's almost unchanged. This right here, this is like, if it was a regular Monday, I think it would have stopped right here and gone up, and then you could have gotten up to here and it would have stopped. Like it would only get within, it would never get past the 1 deviation. I didn't think that we were ever going to get past 1 deviation. I'm just thinking one of the things I said was that I felt like I had some of the right spots, but the direction's wrong. Well, this one was the only one that was really a tight range, and I don't think that I would have been able to catch a good short there. And then maybe you cut that one, but I just kind of missed that one, right? And then this one I probably should have taken. So there's the one. I don't know. I don't think that this would have worked very well even if I had had the direction right. So I might have missed too much of this trend for it to work. Like, I think, actually, Another thought should be, when I came in here, or was it like 020? Probably shouldn't have taken any here. And maybe when I saw the stop run, it could take that long, but even when I saw the stop run, I still thought that we were going to go lower, so here it's at the E-mini, so I don't take any. Maybe I take one long from there to there, and that would be it. That seemed more reasonable. Oh man, that's a freaking hard question, blocking ballista. I mean, obviously they were. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we didn't break a new high, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like that we haven't seen the lows of the year in Treasuries, but right now we're in a range. Anyways, it's time for me to go. So I'm sitting here thinking, should I keep doing this 2-tick thing? I think we'll try it again tomorrow, but obviously I'm gonna change up a bit. Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow.